Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. So today I was challenged to do something awesome with this newspaper that I picked up from Ozona, Texas. This is the San Angelo Times or Standard Times from 1963. I picked this up from the thrifting haul that I did in Ozona, Texas. And what I've decided to do was make these really cute cards. So this is like a Father's Day card. Alright, it's empty on the inside, but the premise is there. I've also made this really cute hey girl hey card. Like this is a little dress on a dress form, and basically it can be like a homecoming card or prom night card or just a hey girl, miss you type of card. Okay, so you know, like hit me up whenever you get this type of thing, you know, just reaching out to your girlfriends. That's what this card is that I made out of a dress form from a die cut. Okay, and here is my Christmas card that I've made. So if you want to see how these are made, stick around and I will show you how I made these cards with this old newspaper from the thrift store. Alright, challenge accepted. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a card that's 5 by 7. So I need to cut. This is just some creamy cardstock. I picked this up from Michael's in a package of Recollection 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I believe this is 60-pound or 65-pound weight paper. And I'm going to make a 5.5 or 5 by 7 card. I could make the envelope as well because we do have our envelope templates, but I'm just going to make the card for now simply by cutting this down to, let's see, it has to be 5 by 7. So I'm 8.5 by 11. I need to cut off just 1 inch off of here. That'll make it 10. And okay, so when I score this down the center, it will give me the 5 side of the card. So I'm just gonna score this right here at 5 and fold it in half. So this is what that will look like. And by doing so, I can continue to use my small guillotine as opposed to taking it over to the big one. I'm just going to cut this down to 7 right here. And then use my little tiny guillotine to cut that at the 7 mark. Okay. So here we have our little card base, 5 by 7. And what I'm going to do is take some black cardstock, not even like a full sheet of black cardstock. This is just some scrap. I need to find a piece that's 5. I may have to go through my stash here. So here's all my black cardstock from, you know, previous projects that I'm working on. So let's see. Yep, 5 by 8.5. So that'll work perfect. And I'm just going to move my scoreboard out of the way because I don't need it right now. But I will bring in the good old Sizzix Big Shot right here. And with the Sizzix, I am going to run some die cuts through it. So here's this. Here is my die. Just going to place this directly on here like that. So this is my die. I won't let you see what it is until I'm done because the big reveal is really where it's at. So I'm I'm sure you all have seen it before. I received the package from one of you lovely subscribers out there, and it had some pretty Christmas card die cuts in it, or some like the front face of a card dies in there. That was part of the package that I got. And yeah, I'm just going to run this through my die cutting machine and get a nice good cut on it. So I hope the camera isn't shaking, because I think I've remedied that issue with my new camera jig. The entire desk is shaking though. Just so you know, like, but whoops. Hopefully my my project is not shaking, or the camera isn't shaking because of the project. So all right, so here we go. Let's just make sure that everything is cut before I remove it from the paper, because I'd hate to have to run it through a second time. See, I can see where the metal does not come all the way through, and that means it's going to need to get run through a second time. So I'm just going to do that before removing the paper from the die. It just makes things just a little bit easier for me anyway. Now, if I had an electric die cutting machine, that would be all the difference in the world, right? But where else am I going to get a workout here in the craft room than cranking this puppy through? So, okay, let's see what happened. Okay, much better. Now you can see a lot more of the silver piercing through, because I got a much cleaner cut. And I'll just remove the black cardstock. Oh, perfect. Such a perfect cut. So here, let me just show you guys what it came out to be. Isn't that perfect? Just so stinking cute. All right, I do have a few little ones in here to pop out, but run it through twice, guys. Save yourself the grief. and yeah, it just comes out perfect. So, okay, I'm gonna set my die and my Sizzix aside for now, because this came out so well. I may do it a second time and make 2 cards. All right, so here we go. Here's my card base. Here's my little mini guillotine. So I'm sure you can see by now what I'm up to. I am going to layer my card front onto a section of this newspaper, because that's the challenge that was issued. How do you use this really old newspaper in a project to make a greeting card? And yeah, I think this is working out. All right, so yeah, I'm just getting rid of all the excess little bits and bobs inside of here that needs to come out. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all of it. Okay, so I'm just going to layer this directly on top of a piece of newspaper right through here. I'm not even going to cut it. I'm just going to tear it away, because this paper is so old and fragile. Watch this. Okay, so there's that section, and I'll move that out of the way, and then this will go right here. So yep, so I'll just fold this over and tear this section off, and I will fold this over, and tear away this section. I mean, this is too easy. Come on, fam. Oh man, you gotta do this. This is so easy. Just grab some old newspaper, like this creamy buttery color. Just really makes the project pop, right? So Yeah, fam, next time, give me something a little bit more challenging, other than me ripping the page myself and completely messing this section up. Yeah, this is like very, very simple to do. Anybody can do this. Just grab some old newspapers and yeah, anyone can do this. So this will go right here in this section. Let me just make sure. Yeah, this will go right here in this section, and then I will layer this on top of another piece of cardstock and then put that as my card front right there, and that'll look so cute. I mean, so cute. All right, so let me stop gawking over it and make it already. All right, so to get your glue onto your die cut, or the piece that you've die cut, it's easier to just go around the open spaces or the spaces that you know needs glue, instead of gluing this paper, the newspaper, because you'll get it in spots where you don't need any glue and it will look weird. And this is a new glue that I'm trying out. I picked this up at the Stamp and Scrapbooking Expo, and I kind of like it so far. Like, it has not disappointed one bit. Yeah, I like it. It dries clear, completely clear, and it also has like a little sheen to it, like a little glossy shine when it's dry. So yeah, I like it. It definitely works for, I guess, stamping and scrapbooking. So yeah, it's called Easy Squeeze Craft Glue. It's made by Pink and Main. Well, it's distributed probably by Pink and Main, but I don't know who the actual maker of the glue is. It's probably just something that they get distributed from, you know, a Chinese factory or something. I don't know. But again, it's made by Pink and Main, and I think I did some crafts with them at the Stamp and Scrapbooking Expo. So yeah, I had a good time there, and I picked up this really cool glue because I liked it. I like the way it works, the way it flows. Anyway, I'm just getting glue in all these different spots, and if I see any areas that needed to get punched out, I'll just do that with my little, what do you call it, pokey tool here, because I see this section right here that I missed. And you want to get them all before you stick this down. So yeah, there's several little areas in here that if I don't get glue on it, it'll raise up. And yeah. So I think that should about do it. I think I got enough glue in all the areas that need some glue. All right, let's get this puppy down. So I hope you all are having like a super crafty day, like really productive, doing stuff in your crafting spaces, because I've been very busy in my craft space. And I love it. I love this time of year because it's time to make things, you know, like get things done. Because the holidays are coming up, and I always like making a present as opposed to buying a present for someone. It's just, you know, it's better. I just think it's better that way. Not that I'm opposed to buying something for somebody, but I just think that making a present, it just, one, it shows your creativity, and two, it just reminds me of like how things used to be. I don't know if you guys watch, there's a family that lives in Alaska. They're called the Kilchers, and the show is called Alaskan Frontier. And the Kilchers, if you guys are aware of the singer Jewel, her name is Jewel, and her family, her dad is one of the patriarchs of the family, and he is a Kilcher, so Jewel Kilcher. And she's a singer, she's a folk singer, you know, pretty popular in pop music or popular music. I won't say pop music, but she's a pretty popular singer in folk music is the genre. And, you know, so anyway, the story behind what I'm trying to get to is that the Kilchers, they live in Alaska, and they're one of the homesteaders of Alaska. And in Alaska, you basically have to make everything. They make everything, and they usually celebrate their Christmases and holidays and Thanksgivings and whatnot, just really being grateful for having all of that land out there. And they make all of their Christmas presents and gift to each other and other neighbors that live out in that area. It's very, very rural. There aren't any like Publix. There's no like grocery stores for a mile. They have to grow everything that they want to eat, and they also have to like hunt their own food for the winter and stock up on various things and supplies to, you know, keep their family warm and fed for the winter season. I find it absolutely fascinating. In case you haven't realized my enthusiasm about that show, it's just so fascinating. I know modern times, or nowadays I should say, folks aren't into that stuff. They're like, what? I gotta kill a bear and skin it and eat it and save the parts for the winter? Like, what is that all about? Like, I don't have time for that. But there's something somewhat, you know, gratifying in knowing where your food comes from. So, and yeah, I'm very much into that show right now. So I like making my Christmas presents. That being said, is why I mentioned the Kilchers. I like making my own Christmas presents, and we usually make food. So I put together several gift baskets of you know, pasta sauces, and you know, we crank our own pasta. We have a friend that makes their own pasta, and we exchange pasta sauce for pasta. I mean, it's a whole thing. It's just a whole thing, and I prefer it that way. I think it makes the gift giving process like so much nicer and so much more meaningful. I am going to clear gesso this so that it sticks on here very nicely. So I'm going to go grab my gesso and cut a sheet of paper to fit here, which is 5 by 7. And then that will stick on top of here, which is also 5 by 7. And then we can call this one done. I'll be right back. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, if I put clear gesso on here, it will make this stiffen up a little bit more. Right now it's a little loose, plus the paper is very fragile. But if I put clear gesso on here, it will stiffen everything up, and I may not need to add a second piece of cardstock underneath. So we'll just see how this goes. We'll let it dry and test it and see how well everything holds. But yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, clear gesso should help this to be a little bit more solid, and then we can just mount it directly to our card base. So this will not take very long to dry at all, but I will set it aside, and we're going to try to make another card really quickly. See how much time we have left. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside to dry, and then I'll bring back in my chopper. Oh, this is Sizzix world right here. So my desk isn't big enough for Sizzix, but yeah. So I just want to put it out there to my mom. If you ever decide to give up on your electric die cutting machine, just send it my way, right? So yeah, if it ever fails you, I will gladly take it off your hands. No, my mom, she needs an electric die cutter. I mean, die cutting machine. She makes cards for everybody in the family on their birthdays. So that's like 12 months out of the year. She's pumping through like 30 cards a month. And she's just, you know, the card maker of the family. So keep your die cutting machine. But again, an electric die cutting machine will probably be very useful in the upcoming season. I did test one when I was at the Stamp and Scrapbooking Expo, but I didn't like it. And for what they were charging, I totally didn't like it. I didn't like parts of it. I didn't like how the paper sat in there to be cut, and it was just a big hassle. So I passed on it. But there are some really nice ones out there. And if you come across any, grab them, because if you make anything repetitively, you will need something. Alrighty, so now I'm going to make a little card front. Let's just say it's a birthday card, or it's a girlfriend card, like, you know, happy birthday to a girlfriend, or you know, maybe a teenager, or maybe it's prom season, graduation season, something like that. So I'm going to try a couple of ways here. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to try to die cut this newspaper and see if this works. I'm trying to find the best location to do it. I'm sorry if you're not in shot. I've got so much stuff on my desk. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so here's a nice little section of words. I'm just going to cut this away and then run it through just to see what we get. Yeah, let's just say it is like, you know, prom season or what have you, and you want to give, or homecoming season. I know that's the time of year that it actually is, but you want to give your homecoming queen, niece, or daughter, or you know, goddaughter, or whatever, whoever, neighbor's kid, I don't know. You want to give them a card? This might be it. This might be the way to go. Let's just see what we get. Okay. So this is a very detailed card, and it did cut the newspaper. So here, let me just move the Sizzix out of the way, and I'm just going to see how much of the newspaper is salvageable, if my die cutting machine worked. If it did, all of this will be wide open. Like, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of dead space in here. I'm not really sure if the newspaper would have been the best thing for this dress, but it is fragile, guys. Like, the paper is so fragile. But I'm giving it a whirl because the challenge was put out there. Pham, you good, girl. That's all I got to say. You are good. You got me good. So, yeah. I was a little overzealous thinking that this is a 1, 2, 3 easy peasy, but you got me on this one because I'm a challenge accepted person, and yeah, I'm going to try my best to get the majority of this newspaper out of here. Okay, so what I want to do is, this is still wet, by the way. I want to take my, this is just some scrap paper. I'm going to make this into, let's just see, maybe a 4x4 card. I think it's 4. This is 4.5. So I'm gonna cut this down and see what I get. And then we'll measure it up against our die cut. So this is 4.5 by just under 8. I'm going to straighten up these edges right here, keeping the 4.5. So this will be our little card front, right? And our little dress can go directly on here. Or maybe, let me just see what it would look like on here. I just want to see what it would look like on a lighter background versus a darker background, but I think I like the darker background better. So this will be a little homecoming card, or graduation card, or happy birthday card, or hey girlfriend card. So yeah, yeah, let's just do that. Let me think about this and I'll be right back. Okay, so I figured out what was missing. I needed a little dress form to go underneath my dress that I die cut with the newspaper. So you have a newspaper print dress, this little dress form right here, which is like, you know, how much is that dress in the window type of thing, you know. So you put one of these down here like so. And I think I've made one of these before for my girlfriend's bridal shower. I made her a huge card with a really nice dress. So yeah, it's every dress is missing one of these guys. You need to have a dress form like so, and this will go. Ooh, so fragile, guys. Old newspaper and intricate dresses, die cuts are very delicate stuff. So I just need to slide that up, slide this down, and then we have that. Okay, not my best work, but I think this needs to flip over. But I'm just showing you guys the possibilities are out there to use up your old stuff, old newspapers, you know, things that you've picked up at the thrift store. Don't just let it sit in your craft room. Use them up. Okay, so that will go just like so. I'm going to set this aside for a moment and bring back in my Christmas card because I think it's about dry. And yes, putting that gesso on there has stiffened up the back of this just a little bit and has given it more definition so that I can mount it to this card base. So I will do that with some regular, let's use some art, let's use some Scotch Create glue stick. And I'm just going to glue the back side of this. To the front of the card base. This is going to look so cool. And another thing that I did was I took another die cut set and ran it through the Sizzix and made like something for Father's Day as well. So I'll show you guys. You can make a Father's Day card with just some bow ties in a die cut. Excuse me. And do the same thing. Just mount it to a card front. Put a little sentiment on there. Hey Dad, you're the best. That type of thing. And here's the die cut. Here are all the dies that I went through with the old newspaper. So there's that. And then this one has lots of little polka dot holes on it. So again, you just take, you can make a 4x4 card or 4.5 by 4 card just by simply cutting that, scoring it 4 3/4, folding it over. And this is just scrap black paper. If I were to make a card for real, I would have to use like really good cardstock. But I always make sure, regardless, to line up my edges. Get nice crisp edges on your projects, guys. It's the easiest thing to do. And here we go. Here's one little boat, what do you call it? Necktie. There's a second. And here is the third. Whoops, this way. Is it that way or this way? I think it's this way. Yeah, and this can be like, this can be a Father's Day card or, you know, a father's birthday card. So yeah, I'm just going to, let me just use some glue on this. Where's my glue? So, and this one I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on my hand, and this one has a bunch of you know, polka dots all over it, so it's easier to just do it this way. This glue somehow looks like it glows in the dark for some reason. It has like an iridescent finish to it, and it just looks like it would glow in the dark. But here we go. Ooh, that's a lot of glue, so I'm going to take some and give it to this guy. Okay. So again, just another quick idea on how you can decorate using your you know, thrift store finds. I would definitely make this card for like a dad or a grandpa, or you know, a birthday or Father's Day, something like that. And yeah, that's cute, and it overhangs, the little bottoms overhang down here. That's really cute. So yeah, all right guys, I'm gonna leave you here because I think we went over our, and I'm not saying that I can't run over the time, but it's just a quick little project day. So, but yes, here's my female card version. I will glue the dress down. It will take some time, for me to get behind there, but it was missing that dress form. So once I get the dress form down, I'll take a picture of it and show you guys at the end. And here's our Christmas card that we did with the background of the newspaper. And I think this looks so good. Oh man, this looks great. All right, so there's that. And again, here's our final. This can be a card front. You can then separate it from the back here and then just use this section right here as a card front and then glue that onto like a card base, like how I did with this one. So yeah, it's just a little something for you guys to consider when you're playing with your thrift store finds. And it was a challenge. Someone threw the challenge out. Pham from Livies Lovelies threw the challenge out and I accepted. So thanks guys. Thanks each and every one of you for subscribing, watching my videos. Thanks to Pham from the Paper Outpost for sending all of y'all over. And thanks to all of my previous subscribers that has been with me from the very beginning. I do appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thanks for subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications, as well as that big thumbs up button, you know, if you like this video. Use the links down below in the description box for any of my Amazon affiliate links. If you find those links valuable to you, I get a small commission from Amazon. Alright guys, stay naturally curious and don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Bye!